Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you may be joining this webinar in every part of the world. And welcome to today's webinar. My name is Aru Victor, General Manager at Goldmine and Homes, and I'm so excited to guide you through an incredible investment opportunity in Nigeria's agricultural sector. In today's session, we are going to be talking about oil palm, which is usually, a very overlooked industry, that is agricultural industry now, in one of Nigeria's potential gold mines. I'm sure many of you must have heard about oil palm before now, but by the end of this webinar, you will understand why oil palm is the future, and more importantly, how you can also profit from it. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. How many of you already have some knowledge of oil palm farming, or you've thought about investing in oil palm before now? Just feel free to drop your answers in the chat as we go along. Now let's look at palm oil. Let's look at palm oil as an opportunity in Nigeria's agricultural sector, right? Nigeria produces about 950,000 tons of palm oil annually. That is according to FAO 2022. However, from 2010 till this present moment, we have had over 1.2 million tons decline from 2010 till this present moment. Meanwhile, local demand is around 2.1 million tons, meaning Nigeria imports roughly 1.2 million tons each year to meet domestic needs. This shows a very, very clear gap, right? Why the decline? This is something we need to really, really pay attention to and look at. Why the decline? The challenges that have been experienced over time include outdated farming methods, fragmented land ownerships, and even weak supply chains. There are few suppliers of palm oil that could meet up the total demand in the market. Now, this decline is actually a golden opportunity for every entrepreneur. You'd understand that any problem at that in the industry is an opportunity for you to explore, right? Fewer active players means early investors can, capture higher returns and higher market share. Nigeria was once the second largest producer of palm oil globally in the 1960s, competing with the likes of Malaysia and Indonesia. However, today we import millions of tons instead of exporting them. This missed opportunity is now your own opportunity. This gap we are seeing is wide open for new strategic investors like yourself and myself, and which is more of the reason why we are having this conversation, having this webinar today, to really, really dive deep into this market gap and how we can explore it. Why this is a big opportunity for you? Let's talk about this. Why is this a big opportunity for you? Imagine this decline in production plus a rising market demand. That is a massive opportunity for you right there. There's a decline in production, there's a rising demand. That is an opportunity for every business person, every entrepreneur to explore in the market. Investing in oil palm estates now means owning land that appreciates in value and produces crops for decades. For palm tree, you are not just owning land, you're not just owning an opportunity or having access to being a part of agricultural system. You are also owning production of crops for decades, because a palm tree can actually live for about 35 to 50 years. This, I believe, is tangible wealth. This, I believe, are not just numbers on a screen, but opportunities that can even outlive you. Did you know Nigeria imports more than 1.2 million tons of palm oil annually? I need us to answer that. Did you know that Nigeria imports more than 1.2 million tons of palm oil annually? Now imagine owning a part of this market gap. What would that mean for your wealth? What do you think that would mean for your wealth? Take out your time to think about this. What do you think that would mean for your wealth? Now that we understand the state of palm oil in Nigeria, let's explore why this isn't just another crop, but a real gold mine. Palm oil is not just for cooking. I'm sure we all do know that. It's used in food products, biofuels, cosmetics, and different kinds of produce that you can find traces of palm oil in. Globally, the palm oil market is projected to reach about $92.84 billion by 2027. The market is only growing at this moment, and by implication, it means that there's more demand and higher potential for returns for those that chose to invest in palm oil. Investing in palm oil estates is like getting double returns. The land appreciates over time, while the trees also produce income for you annually. One good thing about palm oil is that it has a very, very long lifespan of about 30 to 50 years, meaning this is only true long-term investment that can support you and even your future generations. As a matter of fact, the palm oil we are currently consuming in Nigeria, I add this from someone that is very, very vast in this sector. The palm oil we are currently consuming in Nigeria was planted. Many of them were planted by our forefathers, and we are still consuming them, right? Unlike cash, which loses value where there's inflation, or volatile assets like crypto, your palm oil land grows in value as every other land. But the good thing here is there is also an additional perk of value on it, which is your palm tree. Not just the land. You're not just going to have appreciation on your land, you also have appreciation in the value of your crop that is resident on the land. This for me is tangible wealth. Something you want, manage and see growing every year. That is greatness. That is worth building. Now let's dive into why Ibadan is the perfect location for your oil palm investment. Why Ibadan? Why exactly are we talking about Ibadan? Why is the focal point of this conversation not just about palm oil, but also the location? Because it's not just about um venturing into agriculture, but it's also important that you venture into agriculture on the right location or in the right location. Okay, where is Ibadan the perfect location for oil palm investment? Ibadan offers a unique blend of fertile soil, strategic location, and affordable land. Fertile soil, talking about the texture of the land, the fertility of the land, the nutrients resident within the soil. Now, it's also important that you do these things strategically, where you have access to development, access to people, access to market, right? This makes Ibadan a very, very good choice, making it the ideal destination for anyone looking to invest in the future of agriculture. Ibadan is situated in the heart of Oyo State, right, with fertile land, perfect for large scale, not just oil farm, and also every other type of crops we think about. Ibadan is a perfect bet for your agricultural exploration. Okay, and on top of the land's potential, Ibadan is well connected to major markets. Like I said, um, markets like Lagos, Abuja, which also gives you, access to wide range of buyers and suppliers. According to World Bank, I need to share this data. According to World Bank, Ibadan's infrastructure has been improving significantly, and the region is now benefiting from better road networks and urban developments, which increases its agricultural output potential. That is according to World Bank. And according to myself, and some of you that have also, been to Ibadan before, you attest to this very data that is absolutely correct. Ibadan is growing sporadically. The level of um infrastructure introduction into this locality is mind blowing, and it just speaks to the fact that that is the next best place, to invest in, whether agriculture or construction or manufacturing or production. Okay. Land in Ibadan is still affordable because some people may be worried, is it not going to be expensive given the infrastructure introduction, the urban development, and all that? Land in Ibadan is still very, very affordable compared to Lagos, right? And this means you can get more land with your money. While also benefiting from the city's steady real estate growth in Ibadan. This synergy between real estate growth and oil palm farming creates the perfect mix. You get land appreciation. I cannot overemphasize this. I've said it over and over in this course of our conversation. You get land appreciation as your property values, as your property value rise, and while also benefiting from that, you also get annual harvest on your palm tree. Annual harvest on your palm tree. Now let's do something quickly. Let's compare Badon to Lagos. Let's compare Badon to Lagos. In Lagos, land prices have been escalating at a very rapid rate. I, for one, have been, um, you know, a a perfect example, or let me say, one that has experienced the sporadic change, the increment in price of Lagos lands. It's mind blowing. That's just it. It's mind blowing, and leaving many investors unable to secure prime agricultural land. As a matter of fact, you hardly find vacant land now in Lagos, except you have to go to the ends of Lagos, or where we would call outskirts, like Ekpe, Ikorodu, and even Ekpe now, they don't use it for farmland anymore. It's becoming industrial settlement, becoming commercial settlement. So this is leaving many investors unable, to secure prime agricultural land. And on the other hand, you have Ibadan, where you have lesser price, right? And you know, there's also potential for value appreciation alongside the infrastructural development that you also have within the locality. The investment climate in Ibadan is also incredibly favorable. The city is positioned to become a major player in both real estate and agriculture. So now is the perfect time for you. Now is the perfect time for you to invest in Ibadan. You don't want to stay at Kimbo and wait until everyone has, um, you know, flooded that industry before you take an action, right? So by the end of today's webinar, I will show you our oil palm um project, which is called Palm City Project in Idoiruwa, Ibadan, and how you can get on board on it if you desire to be one of the beneficiaries. I really, really wish that we all can be a part of that. Okay, be a part of that. Before we jump into how to get into oil palm, let's first talk about land banking. Yes, I believe that this is why some of you are part of this webinar. This is why some people join. They want to learn about real estate, want to learn about land banking, what exactly it means, and how to be a part of it. Land banking, I beg your pardon. Land banking is simply the process of purchasing land for future use and value appreciation. You buy your land today, you leave it for some certain number of years with the hope that you sell it, or you use it for a venture in the future. When you buy your land for oil palm farming, you are not just securing the land itself, you are securing the potential for long-term profit. As the land appreciates in value and your oil palm trees grow, you are creating wealth that increases year after year. Now, this is why land banking and oil palm farming is such a powerful combination. The collabo is mad. I'm sorry for using that word, but for the lack of better words, the collabo is mad. The land value increases and the oil palm trees generate income for decades. Like I mentioned already, over 30 to 50 years, you see have your oil palm producing consistently year in, year out. For instance, the average return on investment from oil palm plantations can reach about to 15 to 20% per year. depending on the location and management. This is according to Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission 2022. So when you combine land appreciation with steady income for palm oil yields, you are looking at a wealth generating asset that only grows stronger over time. This for me is what you call wealth building, strategic wealth building. Okay. Now let's walk through the process of starting an oil palm farm. It's actually a relatively simple process, but there are a few key steps that we both together would access and also review and ensure that we take them as serious as possible. Okay. The first thing you want to do is to purchase your land. The first step is purchasing the land, preferably in an area where there is fertile soil, such as Ibadan. And of course, with Goriti's Palm City, the land is already primed for oil palm farming, tested, soil tested, and it's been approved to be suitable for such an investment. Okay, so you have no worry on that. So purchase your land from Gority and Homes. Secondly, you need to prepare your land. You will need to clear and prepare the land. This involves soil testing, clearing vegetation, and ensuring drainage. Which all of this, if you are doing this project with Gold Homes, they will be covered, and the implications will also be told you in the process of the conversation. Okay. The third thing is planting oil palm. Now I'm taking you through these key steps just so that you are abreast of the implications, the informations that may be required. All right. The next thing is to plant your oil palm, which is the third step, I believe so. After preparation, you plant the oil palm seedlings. That's after you have prepared your land to plant your seedlings. Now, this is depending on the variety. The trees will begin to mature in 3 to 5 years. Some 3 years, some 4 years, some 5 years. And with full harvest typically starting at the 5th year. Yes, you get your full harvest at the 5th year. But there is a breed right now that Gority is exploring, which will only take about 3 years for you to get your first harvest. So it's called Super Tenera. Okay, Super Tenera. So you can also make a research on that. The fourth step for the process of your oil palm farming is regular maintenance, maintaining the farm. Okay, this includes managing pests, applying fertilizers, ensuring that the palms have the right conditions to thrive. Okay, so it is very, very key. As important as your seedlings are, it's also quite important that you have the right maintenance. This is also to give higher probability for more produce during harvest. Okay, the last process is the harvesting, which I believe everyone has been waiting to hear. This is the joy of every farmer. When am I going to harvest? Okay, the oil palm will start producing fruit, that can be harvested for oil within 3 to 5 years, like I said earlier. And this process continues repeatedly for 30 years and above. So it's a long ride. You're in for a long ride, a long money. So you can also become old money. And now that we know the process, I think we should talk about what you need to get started, isn't it? What you need to get started. Your land selection, this is the most important factor. Okay. Soil quality and required capital. Some of these things have been covered already by Gority and Homes. Your land selection, the soil quality. But the required capital, you also need an initial investment for the land and maintenance. Although the returns will far outweigh the investment over time. So for those looking to get started right away, Palm City is a prime opportunity, with land that is ready for oil palm farming. So do what to reach out to Gority and Homes. You may have questions. You can use the chat box. To ask your questions. Okay. I encourage that you ask questions so that it doesn't just look as though I'm the one speaking. By the way, how many of you are already thinking about investing in Palm City? How many of you? You need to consider the long-term returns. It's very, very important. Go through the process clearly and slowly so that you arrive at a better decision. Okay. Now let's look at how some investors are already making serious wealth from oil palm. I'm sure you're wondering if this is just theory or if they are actual success stories. Permit me to share with you some real world examples of investors who have, turned their land and oil palm farms into long-term investment and income generating assets. I beg your pardon, assets. In Nigeria, many investors are already making returns, on their oil palm investments. For instance, palm oil farmers in Cross River State, they have seen their income grow by 300% in over 5 years after adopting modern oil palm farming techniques. And this is according to Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission 2021. Now, this is not even just about owning lands. It's about owning land that appreciates in value while the oil palm tree keeps generating income for you year after year. Okay. Now, I want to tell you guys about some, financial breakdown that I think would be of help to you. Here's how the number works out. On average, oil palm yields 15 to 30 tons per hectare. Now, I'm giving this breakdown so you can also be abreast of potentials that are resident within this kind of investment. Okay, the oil palm yields about 15 to 30 tons per hectare. That is annually now. The price of fresh fruit bunches in Nigeria ranges from about 50 to 100,000 naira per ton. Now, remember that per hectare you have 15 to 30 tons. Per ton in Nigeria is about 50,000 to 100,000. So if you have a hectare of land, you are looking at annual yields of anywhere between 750,000 to 30 million naira per year. Isn't that amazing? Talk to me. What do you think? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? And let me tell you, for some kind of produce, for example, the super tenera, you would definitely have at least twice of these tons. So for super tenera, you're likely going to have about 45 to 60 tons per hectare. So you can do the maths for the amount as well. So this is largely dependent on the kind of seedling you're getting. Okay, so I'm just generally educating us in this session. It's largely dependent on the kind of seedling you are getting for your oil palm farming. Okay. Let's briefly compare oil palm with other forms of investments like stocks, crypto, which are very, very, very volatile. They can fluctuate violently and they involve significant risk. That is not to say that agriculture doesn't have its own embedded risk, but I mean, this risk can be very, very mitigated. Now, real estate can be lucrative, but it also often requires much higher capital and it can take years before you see returns. Okay, but with oil palm, you are looking at a stable income generating asset that does not only appreciate over time but also produces regular yields for you, something you can count on every year. Whether other business is going well or not, you already have at the back of your mind that so time there's something coming in for me at a particular time of the year. So how many of you are already involved in real estate, stocks, or crypto? And do you possibly also see value in adding oil palm farming to to the worth of your investments. I mean, your investment portfolio. I know that some of you are really crypto traders, forex traders, realtors. What do you think about adding up palm farming? You can drop a comment in the chat box. I would love to, read through. Now, let me show you our Palm City projects in Ido-Èrúwà, Ibadan.
Palm oil is a major ingredient in many of the foods Nigerians love. But would you believe that despite this, Nigeria still imports millions of dollars worth of palm oil every year? Nigeria's share of global palm oil production has dropped dramatically from over 40% in the 1970s to less than 2% currently. In 2024 alone, Nigeria spent over $600 million importing palm oil to feed its population. But here's the exciting part. Palm oil isn't just a staple ingredient, it's a powerful investment opportunity. Introducing Palm City by Goldmine and Homes. With as little as 600,000 naira, you can secure an acre of land on this property. And that's not all. You'll be able to spread payments over 0 to 6 months without any interest, without any hidden charge, and without any extra charge. Now that's not all. With a commitment fee of 2 million naira, we can manage your palm trees for 3 years till they harvest, and then you can decide to either sell or process your palm fruits. Now to get started, send us a DM, ask your questions, finalize your details, and make that deposit. And let's get you started on your investment journey that can pay you for over 35 to 50 years in fact, because that's what palm trees do.
Welcome to Palm City.
There are reasons why we chose Ido-Èrúwà for the Palm City project. This location ticks all of the boxes. First is its rich soil, where you can get to plant palm trees and even cassava amongst many other crops. Second, you're not just owning land, you're owning peace of mind. No land disputes, no omonile wahala. This location is already gaining the attention of investors and agropreneurs. But what really makes this location shine is its accessibility, even to the Omiadio train station, and is strategically positioned to link Ogun, Oyo, and even Osun states. So you're not just owning land, you're owning land just at the corridor of growth. Real estate is about location, agribusiness is about soil and access. Palm City offers you all three. While it is smart to invest, it is smarter to invest in Palm City.
Everybody wants land, but not every land makes you money. Well, in Palm City, we're not just building real estate, we are building a productive ecosystem. With the rising cost of food produce, the demand for agricultural lands, cassava and palm oil is the new gold mine. It's not just about farming, it's about owning a land that grows in value. I'm talking a land that has real use, real potentials and real returns. And Palm City is perfect for young investors, professionals and even cooperatives looking to build long-term wealth. Whether you're planning to farm, lease it out or hold it for appreciation, this isn't just a land you buy and forget, it's a land you buy and grow. Don't be told stories, own a piece of Palm City today.
Welcome to Palm City by Goldmine and Homes. If you have been looking for an avenue to be a landowner, not just a landowner, but also an opportunity for you to earn over the years, then you should be considering Palm City by Gold Realty. Here you can have a plot of cassava for just 500,000, including the cost of the land. And we'll be having several segments here in Palm City. We'll be having the cassava plantation segment, we'll be having the palm tree segment, and also if you just want to buy the land for, the feel of being a landowner, here you can also get a plot of land for just 400,000. What are you waiting for? Do well to contact the number on the screen or somewhere in the caption of this video. We'll be available to definitely give you answers to your questions. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. The phase one of this project sold out last month. That's August 2025. And the prices you saw in the videos was for phase one. Here are the new prices for phase two. So today we have been able to cover a lot. And the opportunity in oil palm investment and land ownership in Ibadan, I believe, is very, very clear now. We talked about Ibadan's fertile soil, coupled with the growing demand for palm oil, which makes, the investment a very, very unique opportunity. You are not just buying land, you're investing in long-term and sustainable wealth. We also talked about the fact that oil palm is not just an investment in the land, it's an investment in the future of Nigeria's economy. So quickly, however, the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. As demand continues to rise and more people recognize the potential prices for land in Ibadan are expected to rise. Now is the time to act before others seize the opportunity. The best time to key into oil palm was yesterday. The next best time is now. Right now. Take that action, take that step. The more the demand is rising, the higher the price becomes. Know that it's the law of demand. The higher the demand, the higher the price. You can send the WhatsApp message or call the number on the screen to ask us any questions or clarifications. If you want to book a site inspection, you can also do it to send a message in that regard. There will definitely be someone to attend to you. All right? Don't forget, the oil palm industry has a proven track record of generating wealth. And by getting a piece of Palm City today, you are positioning yourself to benefit from not only land appreciation, but also from annual oil palm yields for the next 30 to 50 years. This is generational wealth, something you can pass down to your children and even your grandchildren. It's been an absolute amazing time here. Thank you for staying this long. I want to believe you have gotten value for your time. Till I come your way next time, my name is Arovito. Do enjoy the rest of your time.